A client of mine, a new client who is transitioning from Act Desktop, an older version, to Act Premium Cloud, just started using the cloud version of Act. And one of their questions for me was related to the calendar and what they're seeing on the calendar. So I'm creating this video in response to their question. So one of the things they asked me is, can they see certain information on the calendar? So I want you to observe that down here, I created a telephone call for this contact, Chris Huffman, and it's scheduled for right now today. So this is one place I can see things that are scheduled. But my contact or client asked, how do you view that on the calendar? When I look at today's calendar, here is the item that's scheduled, but I only see what it's about. And that's what I had typed in there. However, I'm not seeing anything else. Now, this is a little bit of a weakness of this calendar and just a little bit of history. In Act Premium Cloud, they updated the calendar in January of 2024. So they made some changes to the calendar. One of the good things about the cloud version is when people make suggestions or requests, they can be put into the software rather easily. Well, let me restate that. Not easily, but when they're put in, you'll see these changes sort of happen behind the scenes. For just a moment, I want to show you what I'm referring to when I say behind the scenes. I'm going to come up here on this question mark up top, and I'm going to click on this. And when I do that, I'm going to click on About Act. What it shows me right here is that this Act version is January 2024 R2. When they update Act, you don't have to do anything. So just be aware that as things change and as things get updated, you'll see these come through. And this is one of the requests that I know a lot of people have made about the calendar. So let me backtrack for a minute. The question was, you can't see all the information you're accustomed to. Here, we're just seeing what it is about, but we're not seeing who it's scheduled with or the company. Having stated that, if you put your pointer up on the item, you will see more information. Now, ideally, we'd like to be able to see all this information without having to do this. I suspect this will change. Can't guarantee it, but I suspect it will. So that's one way you can see this information. But let me create an alternative way of looking at your data that a lot of people don't really look at. Act has multiple ways to see activities. One is right under the contact on the Activities tab. Another is on the calendar like we are right now. Next, I can come over to the task list, and I'm going to click on that. Now, when we go to the task list holds all the information, typically, that is on your calendar. So if you look at this, here's the item that we have scheduled that we were just referring to on the calendar. So, what would I do? Well, what I would do is this. I would urge you to take a look at the task list because it can be beneficial to do things here. But what we're missing here is we're seeing who it's scheduled with, what it's regarding, when it's scheduled. We get a lot of good information, but I don't see the company name. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the right and I'm going to click on the columns right here. And I want you to observe that over here there are some other available fields, company being one of them. So in this example, I'm going to click on company. I'm going to click on phone. I'm going to click on phone extension. I can click on scheduled by, scheduled for. I'm just going to put all this information in here. The original, some of the dates, I'm going to put the email address in as well. Now, I can also take this information and move it up the screen. For now, I'm just going to do company by clicking on move up, and I'm going to go all the way up the screen. And usually what I'll do is leave it below the cleared area. And I'm going to click save. Now that I've done that, I can see everything here on my task list. So the task list is an alternate way to work with your Act data and calendar. There are some advantages to each. There's some disadvantages to each, but it gives you an alternative way to look at this information. Let me show you what I could potentially do. I can right-click on this tab, and I can go Duplicate Tab. So now I have this tab open in two places. If you have two monitors, you can literally grab this tab and drag it to the other monitor. If you don't have two monitors, you can do the following. I'm going to click on this, and on this tab, I'm going to click on Calendar. So I can view my calendar here. But if I want to see my task list, I can click here. So it's a little bit of a back and forth. It's not perfect, but this is one of the interesting things about working with ACT in the cloud. You can open multiple tabs. This is not an ACT trick. This is related to working in a web browser. And I always tell people 20% of ACT Premium Cloud is different. It's not different in a bad way, nor necessarily a good way. It's just different, and you can do some different things with it. These are the things you'll learn over time. Do I expect them to change this? Yeah, I do. I think they'll update this so you can see more information. When? I'm not sure. But the update will be applied behind the scenes, and to confirm that there's been an update, you can see the information about the current version of ACT right there. Okay, everyone, I just want to give you that information. I hope this was helpful. Be well. Thank you. Bye now.